What if the voice in your head is the real decision maker? Pause for a moment. Before your actions, before your habits, before your results, there is a thought. Every success you admire began as an idea someone chose to believe. Every limitation you feel started as a thought left unquestioned. The mind writes the script before life performs it. Change the thought, change the direction. If your life feels stuck, heavy, or repetitive, the answer is not always in doing more. Sometimes it is in thinking differently. Why do the same patterns keep showing up? You promise yourself change. You feel inspired. You plan to do better. Then doubt appears. Old beliefs resurface. The familiar cycle repeats. Not because you are weak, not because you are incapable, because unexamined thoughts quietly shape decisions. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes what you expect. What you expect influences what you attempt. Belief sets the ceiling. What you think today becomes what you live tomorrow. What are your thoughts doing when you are not watching? Most thoughts operate automatically. They arise from habit, memory, and past experience. Some encourage growth. Others protect comfort. A thought that says, "I cannot," often means, "I am afraid." A thought that says, "It is too late," often means, "I doubt myself." These thoughts feel real because they are familiar, not because they are true. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who listens to them. What if beliefs are learned, not fixed? Beliefs are not facts. They are conclusions drawn from repeated experiences. A child who hears encouragement learns confidence. A person who experiences failure without guidance learns hesitation. Over time, beliefs harden into identity. But identity is adaptable. It evolves with awareness. What was learned can be relearned. Beliefs change when attention changes. This is where transformation begins. Why does awareness come before change? You cannot change what you do not notice. You cannot improve what remains unconscious. Awareness reveals patterns. It exposes habits of thought. Once you see a belief clearly, it loses authority. A professional once believed speaking up would lead to rejection. That belief limited growth for years. When questioned, evidence proved otherwise. New behavior followed. Clarity unlocked confidence. Awareness is the doorway to freedom. What you observe, you can adjust. How do thoughts shape emotional experience? Thoughts influence emotion. Emotion influences action. A thought of possibility generates motivation. A thought of limitation creates hesitation. Change the interpretation, and the emotional response shifts. Stress often comes from imagined outcomes. Peace grows from present awareness. You do not respond to reality. You respond to meaning. When meaning changes, experience changes. What happens when you choose a different inner dialogue? The tone of your inner voice matters. It can encourage progress or reinforce fear. Replace harsh criticism with curiosity. Replace judgment with intention. One individual began asking, "What can I learn?" instead of "Why did I fail?" Growth accelerated. Language influences belief. Belief influences behavior. Speak to yourself with purpose. Your inner voice becomes your guide. What does growth ask of you right now? Not perfection, not certainty. Awareness. Willingness. Willingness to question old narratives. Willingness to interrupt unhelpful patterns. Every shift begins with noticing. Question the thought before it defines you. New awareness creates new options. Why is this moment so important? Because awareness happens now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Every moment offers a choice. To repeat the familiar, or to explore a new direction. This moment can be the turning point. Change begins with attention. Growth starts with observation. Take a breath. Slow the pace. The next step is not action yet. It is understanding. It is learning how your mind works, so it stops working against you. This is where real transformation quietly begins. What do you notice when you pay attention to yourself? Growth begins the moment attention turns inward, not with criticism, with curiosity. Every habit, reaction, and decision leaves clues. They reveal patterns, shaping outcomes quietly and consistently. Self-understanding is not self-judgment. It is self-leadership. When you observe yourself honestly, change becomes possible. Awareness is the beginning of mastery. What are your strengths asking you to use them for? Everyone carries natural abilities, skills that energize effort, talents that feel intuitive. When strengths are ignored, motivation fades. When used intentionally, confidence grows. One individual discovered a natural ability to organize and guide others. By leaning into this strength, leadership opportunities followed. Recognizing what works well allows energy to be focused effectively. Strengths grow when they are exercised. Confidence follows competence. Where do habits shape outcomes without permission? Habits operate silently. They influence daily choices. Some habits build progress. Others reinforce limitation. A person noticed a pattern of avoiding difficult conversations. This habit limited professional growth. Once acknowledged, deliberate practice replaced avoidance. Awareness disrupted autopilot behavior. What is repeated becomes automatic. Habits shape identity. How can you examine weakness without self-criticism? Weakness does not define worth. It reveals opportunity. Growth accelerates when limitations are approached constructively. Curiosity replaces judgment. A student struggling academically reframed difficulty as a learning signal. Support was sought. Improvement followed. Compassion allows development. You grow where you are honest. Progress begins with acceptance. What stories do you tell yourself repeatedly? Narratives influence direction. They frame interpretation. I am not good enough. I always fail. It is too late. These statements feel factual when repeated. Yet they are interpretations, not truths. One professional challenged the belief that change was risky. Action disproved the assumption. Perspective shifted with evidence. Thoughts are hypotheses, not conclusions. Question the story before it defines you. How does awareness strengthen decision-making? When reactions are observed, responses become intentional. Pause replaces impulse. An individual practiced noticing emotional triggers. With awareness, choices improved. Responsibility replaced reaction. Awareness creates choice. Choice creates freedom. Clarity strengthens agency. What daily practices improve awareness? Reflection builds understanding. Journaling clarifies patterns. Mindful pauses reveal tendencies. Ask regularly, what energized me today? What drained me? What patterns appeared? These questions illuminate direction. Reflection turns experience into insight. Attention shapes awareness. Consistency strengthens observation. How does a strong inner framework develop? Mindset grows through intentional practice. It is trained through perspective. Challenges become information. Feedback becomes guidance. A business owner reframed setbacks as data. Adaptation followed. Growth resumed. Perspective shapes progress. Difficulty is information, not identity. Learning accelerates growth. What happens when beliefs are chosen intentionally? Beliefs guide effort. Chosen beliefs empower action. One athlete replaced doubt with deliberate affirmation. Performance improved through consistency. Belief strengthened discipline. Belief fuels persistence. Confidence grows through commitment. What questions expand awareness right now? What am I avoiding? What belief is driving that avoidance? What evidence supports a different conclusion? Honest inquiry reveals possibility. Questions unlock insight. Curiosity expands awareness. What is the role of patience in growth? Change requires time. Awareness deepens gradually. Growth honors effort, not speed. One step repeated builds momentum. Consistency nurtures confidence. Patience sustains progress. Why does awareness prepare you for direction? Clarity precedes intention. Understanding informs planning. Without awareness, goals misalign. With awareness, direction sharpens. Clarity guides action. Understanding precedes achievement. Take a breath. Notice what you have learned about yourself. The next step is not striving harder. It is aligning intention with understanding. From clarity, direction emerges. Why are goals the compass for your life? Imagine setting out on a journey without a destination. You wander, you stumble, you repeat the same circles. Goals provide direction. They clarify what you aim for. They turn abstract desires into concrete targets. Without goals, effort is scattered. With goals, every action accumulates toward purpose. Clarity is power. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Have you ever felt lost despite working hard? Many people invest energy, yet feel stagnant. Why does effort sometimes feel fruitless? Because effort without intention is like rowing a boat in circles. The energy is real, but the impact is minimal. Strategic planning aligns action with outcome. One entrepreneur spent years hustling without focus. Revenue grew slowly, stress increased. When goals were clarified and broken into actionable steps, growth accelerated dramatically. Direction transforms motion into progress. Intentional effort creates results. What makes a goal truly meaningful? A goal is meaningful when it connects to purpose. It must resonate with what you value. Otherwise, motivation fades when challenges arise. Reflect, what matters most to you in life? Which achievements would make your days feel aligned with your values? Aligning goals with purpose fuels persistence. Passion without direction is wasted energy. Purpose gives your goals life. How do you translate goals into actionable steps? Step 1. Define the destination. Be precise. Instead of saying, "I want to be healthy," say, "I will run 20 minutes daily and eat 5 servings of vegetables." Step 2. Break it into manageable parts. Large goals can feel overwhelming. Divide them into weekly and daily actions. Step 3. Establish measurable milestones. Progress must be visible to reinforce effort. Track achievements. Celebrate small wins. Step 4. Anticipate obstacles. Identify potential setbacks and plan solutions in advance. Step 5. Commit publicly or privately. Accountability strengthens follow-through. Step 6. Adjust, but never abandon. Flexibility allows adaptation without losing focus. What stories prove that planning changes everything? Consider the story of an author struggling for years with rejection. She set clear goals. Write 500 words daily. Submit 1 manuscript per month. Planning and consistent effort resulted in her first bestseller within 3 years. Another example is a marathon runner who initially failed to complete local races. He created a structured training plan, gradually increasing distance and intensity. Persistence and discipline transformed struggle into triumph. Consistency in planning converts dreams into reality. How can you stay disciplined when motivation wavers? Motivation is temporary. Discipline is lasting. Design your environment to support action. Remove distractions, set reminders, schedule routines. Use habit stacking. Pair a new habit with an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth, meditate for 5 minutes. Monitor progress daily. Reflection reinforces behavior and identifies gaps. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Small actions repeated consistently produce extraordinary results. How do you overcome procrastination effectively? Procrastination often masks fear. Fear of failure, fear of discomfort, fear of uncertainty. The solution is simple but profound. Start small. Take one step that feels manageable. Momentum grows once the first action is taken. Divide large tasks into micro-tasks. Focus on progress, not perfection. Accountability partners or reminders can reduce delay. Action conquers fear. Start before you are ready. Why does focus determine success more than talent? Talent is wasted without direction. Focus channels energy where it matters most. Eliminate multitasking during critical tasks. Prioritize actions that directly impact your goals. The compound effect of sustained focus multiplies results exponentially. Consider the musician who practiced a single piece for hours daily. Months later, the performance stunned audiences, not because of innate skill alone, but due to concentrated, deliberate practice. Focused effort beats scattered talent. Consistency and focus transforms ability into achievement. How do you review and refine your plan regularly? Goals are not static. Life evolves. Reflection ensures alignment. Ask yourself weekly, what went well? Where did I drift? What can I improve next week? Use insights to adjust strategies without losing sight of the ultimate objective. Flexibility paired with determination accelerates growth. Plan with intention, adapt with wisdom. Reflection sharpens action. What role does belief play in achieving goals? Even the best plans fail without belief. Confidence sustains effort through setbacks. Affirmations and positive reinforcement strengthen mindset. Consider an athlete who visualized victory daily while training. Belief reinforced action. Obstacles became challenges to overcome rather than barriers. You cannot achieve what you do not believe possible. Belief fuels persistence. What questions keep your planning sharp? Am I focusing on what truly matters? Are my daily actions aligned with my long-term goals? What obstacles can I anticipate, and how will I respond? Am I measuring progress accurately? Honest answers ensure strategic alignment. How do you balance ambition and patience? Ambition drives progress. Patience sustains it. Set ambitious targets, but break them into incremental steps. Celebrate small wins. Patience prevents burnout, while ambition propels forward. A marathon is one step by step, not sprint by sprint. Persistent effort outweighs hurried action. What happens when planning meets action? Planning without action remains theory. Action without planning lacks efficiency. When combined, every step becomes intentional. Every effort compounds toward achievement. One professional created a vision board, set measurable goals, scheduled tasks daily, and reviewed weekly. Within a year, income doubled, skills expanded, and confidence soared. This is the power of integrated planning and action. How can you commit to consistency starting today? Start with one clear goal. Break it into micro steps. Schedule the first action now. Take it immediately. Momentum grows exponentially with each completed step. Consistency compounds results beyond imagination. You can do this starting today. Action multiplies intention. Pause for reflection. Are your goals aligned with your values? Have you broken them into actionable steps? Are you ready to commit daily effort, even when motivation fades? The answers define the path forward. From clarity to courage with awareness, you now know your strengths, limitations, and habits. With planning, you have defined your direction, broken it into steps, and committed to consistent action. The stage is set for challenges ahead. Obstacles will arise, resistance will test resolve, but with preparation and mindset aligned, you are ready. Next, we will explore how to face setbacks with resilience, transform failure into learning, and cultivate the mental toughness necessary to persevere. Why do setbacks feel like the end of the road? Every person who has ever pursued a meaningful goal has faced setbacks. It is not a question of if, but when. Failures can feel like walls too high to climb, moments when your confidence falters and your vision seems to crumble. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling after giving your all and still coming up short? Perhaps a missed promotion, a failed project, or a relationship that fell apart. These moments sting because they challenge not only your plans, but your self-belief. Yet, here is the secret many never realize. Setbacks are not dead ends. They are signals, lessons, and stepping stones. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. Adversity introduces a person to themselves. The hidden opportunity in every obstacles are often disguised opportunities. They force introspection, ignite creativity, and reveal inner strength. Consider J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Each rejection could have crushed her resolve, yet it strengthened her determination. She didn't allow failure to define her potential. She allowed it to refine her resilience. Or think of Thomas Edison, who faced thousands of failed experiments before perfecting the light bulb. Every failure was simply a step toward mastery, a recalibration of approach. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. How do you cultivate mental toughness? Mental toughness is the armor that protects your mind from defeat. It is not about being unaffected by challenges. It is about responding constructively. Start by reframing your perspective. View challenges as puzzles to solve rather than threats to avoid. Ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? How can I grow stronger from this experience? Practical exercises build mental resilience. Visualization. Imagine yourself overcoming the obstacle before it happens. Picture every step clearly. Journaling. Write down challenges, feelings, and solutions. Reflection strengthens clarity and resolve. Positive affirmations. Reinforce belief with statements like, I am capable of handling whatever comes my way. Resilience grows when you embrace discomfort rather than avoid it. Can discipline help you persist when motivation fades? Motivation fluctuates. It is unreliable. Discipline is the steady engine that keeps you moving when inspiration wanes. Create daily routines that reinforce resilience. Set aside focused time to work on goals, even when tired or distracted. Commit to small wins daily. They compound over time. Use accountability partners or trackers to stay honest with yourself. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey, who faced poverty, abuse, and countless professional hurdles. Her daily discipline, studying, practicing, and learning, built a foundation strong enough to carry her through trials. She didn't wait for motivation. She acted anyway. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. How do you bounce back after failure? Rebounding requires acknowledgement and action. First, acknowledge what went wrong without self-blame. Understand the lesson hidden in the outcome. Then, commit to specific actions to move forward. Michael Jordan famously said he missed over 9,000 shots, lost 300 games, yet he credits these failures for his greatness. The difference between quitting and succeeding lies in response. Resilient individuals use failure as fuel rather than a stop sign. Key steps for a comeback. Assess objectively. What controllable factors affected the outcome? Reframe mentally. Replace "I failed" with "I learned what to do differently." Take immediate action. Small steps toward progress rebuild confidence. Celebrate growth. Recognize each victory, no matter how minor. Resilience is accepting your new reality, even if it's less than what you hoped for, and moving forward anyway. Why persistence outlasts talent. Many give up when progress stalls, believing they lack innate ability. Yet, talent alone rarely achieves success. Persistence, adaptability, and the willingness to face discomfort consistently outperform raw skill. Consider a small business owner who saw her first store fail. Instead of surrendering, she analyzed mistakes, refined her business model, and launched a new store that became a regional success. Her secret: consistent action paired with lessons learned from obstacles. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Endurance is often the differentiator between mediocrity and greatness. How to strengthen your emotional resilience. Emotional resilience allows you to manage stress, anxiety, and disappointment. Techniques include mindfulness. Focus on the present moment rather than ruminating on past failures or future fears. Gratitude. Reflect daily on things going well, which builds perspective. Support networks. Surround yourself with positive, uplifting individuals who reinforce your courage. Self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you care about. Avoid destructive inner criticism. Resilience is both mental and emotional. By training both, you create a foundation that holds under pressure. Rhetorical questions to challenge your mindset. Are you allowing setbacks to define you, or are you defining your response? Do you view obstacles as barriers, or as opportunities to grow stronger? Are you ready to embrace discomfort as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock? Answering these questions honestly reshapes perception and action. Daily habits that reinforce resilience. Morning reflection. Spend 10 minutes visualizing challenges and your response. Micro-challenges. Do one uncomfortable but productive task daily to expand courage. Learning mindset. After every failure, ask, "What did I learn?" Physical health. Exercise supports mental toughness and stress management. Each small habit compounds, building unshakable resilience. Stories that inspire. Triumph over trials. Bethany Hamilton, a professional surfer, lost her arm in a shark attack at 13. Many would have abandoned their dreams. She returned to professional surfing, winning competitions and inspiring millions. Her resilience was not innate. It was cultivated through mindset, courage, and daily commitment. Another example is Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, yet emerging to lead South Africa toward freedom. Adversity did not break him. It strengthened his vision and resolve. These stories demonstrate that obstacles do not predict the end of the journey. They signal the need for growth. How to transform pain into purpose. Pain and setbacks become powerful fuel when channeled correctly. Ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can I use this experience to improve, inspire, or help others? Resilient individuals convert personal struggles into catalysts for growth and leadership. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Challenges are gifts that force us to look for a better way. Preparing for the next stage now that you understand the inevitability of obstacles and the methods to cultivate resilience, the next step is action. Mental toughness, perseverance, and emotional resilience set the foundation. But knowledge alone does not create results. To truly transform your life, you must take deliberate, consistent action. The strategies, lessons, and mindset we've explored prepare you to move forward without hesitation. In the next section, we will explore how to channel this resilience into consistent action, forming habits that accelerate growth, and ensuring that every effort compounds toward your ultimate goals. This is where your preparation meets movement, and momentum carries you forward toward the life you are capable of creating. Why action outweighs ideas? Have you ever noticed how the world is filled with people who have brilliant ideas but never act on them? The truth is, thoughts alone do not create transformation, action does. Your beliefs, mindset, and planning are powerful, but they remain potential energy until you move, until you start. Even the smallest step taken consistently compounds into unstoppable momentum. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. You don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to start. Why consistency is the secret ingredient? Consistency is the quiet force behind every achievement you admire. It is not a flash of inspiration that changes your life. It is repeated, deliberate action over time. Think of a sculptor chipping away at stone. Each strike alone does little, but cumulatively, it reveals the masterpiece. Every morning you show up for your goals. Every habit you reinforce. Every decision aligned with your purpose contributes to that sculpture. Consider Serena Williams. She did not wake up as a tennis legend overnight. It was years of daily practice, drills, and mental preparation. Consistency, even on days she didn't feel like it, is what built greatness. You can do the same. Start today, even if it's imperfect. Breaking big goals into daily wins, large dreams can feel overwhelming. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Break your goals into micro actions that are manageable, measurable, and achievable each day. Step 1. Identify your ultimate objective. Step 2. Divide it into monthly milestones. Step 3. Break monthly milestones into weekly targets. Step 4. Transform weekly targets into daily actionable habits. If your goal is to write a book, your daily habit might be 500 words, even when you're tired or uninspired. If your goal is fitness, commit to 20 minutes of exercise daily. Consistency compounds. A small effort repeated daily outweighs a huge effort done sporadically. Stories that showcase the power of daily action. J.K. Rowling, before the success of Harry Potter, wrote in cafes while raising her child alone. She faced rejection after rejection, but kept writing a little each day. Her consistency transformed struggle into global triumph. James Dyson, inventor of the first bagless vacuum, created 5,127 prototypes before achieving success. Imagine the patience, the daily grind, the commitment to action despite repeated failure. Yet every step brought him closer to mastery. The psychology behind starting today. Procrastination is the thief of progress. The longer you wait, the more your mind convinces you that conditions must be perfect. The secret is to act now, to move even when motivation is low. Action creates clarity. Motion generates momentum. Ask yourself, What one thing can I do today that moves me closer to my goal? How can I make this step non-negotiable? Small actions accumulate into identity shifts. When you consistently act, you become a doer, a creator, a person who transforms thoughts into reality. Overcoming resistance and staying motivated, even the most disciplined people face resistance. Your mind will invent excuses. I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm not ready. Discipline doesn't mean ignoring these feelings. It means acting in spite of them. Create external structures to support consistency. Schedule your habits in advance. Use accountability partners. Track your progress visually. Reward yourself for completing milestones. Consider Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who wakes up at 4 a.m. to train regardless of mood or fatigue. Consistency over decades, not bursts of effort, is what built his physical and professional empire. Habits that compound success: daily planning. Start each morning reviewing goals and tasks. Micro-progress. Focus on incremental improvements, not perfection. Reflection. End each day noting wins and areas for refinement. Discipline over motivation. Commit to doing what matters, even when enthusiasm wanes. These habits are simple, yet transformative when executed consistently. The role of beliefs in sustained action. Your actions are an expression of your beliefs. If you believe small daily steps don't matter, you'll stop before momentum builds. If you believe effort compounds, your actions gain exponential power. Master your beliefs, and your actions will follow naturally. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Consistency transforms average into extraordinary. Turning setbacks into fuel. Even with consistent action, obstacles will appear. The key is not to stop, but to adjust and persist. Missed targets or failed experiments are feedback, not failure. Each challenge teaches, redirects, and strengthens your commitment. Thomas Edison's thousands of failed light bulb experiments weren't mistakes. They were data points guiding him to success. You too can reframe setbacks as necessary input for growth. How to start today? Right now, pick one actionable step aligned with your goals. Set a timer and commit to doing it immediately. Celebrate completion, no matter how small. Repeat tomorrow. Momentum builds exponentially. One small action sparks another. One day leads to a week, a month, a year of unstoppable growth. Stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Consider Malala Yousafzai, who began advocating for education at a young age, despite threats to her life. Her daily commitment to speaking out, learning, and inspiring others built a movement that changed the world. Or Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs, who dedicated each day to inspiring others through speaking, writing, and personal connection. Consistency transformed their purpose into global impact. Action is the ultimate proof of belief. Belief without action is merely hope. Action transforms belief into reality. Every step, no matter how small, signals to the universe and to yourself that you are committed. Start today, repeat tomorrow, and watch as your life aligns with your vision. Preparing for reflection and integration. You now have the tools, mindset, and inspiration to act consistently. You've seen how daily habits, incremental steps, and persistence compound into tangible results. The next phase is reflection, understanding what works, what doesn't, and integrating lessons to strengthen your trajectory. When you combine action with reflection, your growth becomes intentional, guided, and unstoppable. In the next section, we will explore how to pause, assess, and integrate your journey, ensuring that every action you take is aligned with the life you are building and the beliefs you are mastering. The power of looking back to move forward. Take a moment and breathe deeply. Reflect on the journey we've explored together. The power of mastering your thoughts, the importance of self-awareness, the strength of a resilient mindset, and the clarity that comes from setting meaningful goals. Every lesson, every insight has one purpose: to equip you with the tools to transform your life from within. Self-awareness is your compass. It helps you understand your strengths, recognize your habits, and face your weaknesses without fear. Mindset is the engine that drives your decisions. It shapes the way you perceive challenges, the way you respond to setbacks, and the way you engage with your dreams. Goals are the roadmap. They give direction, purpose, and structure to your actions. Resilience ensures you persist even when the path gets tough. It teaches you to rise stronger after every fall. And action, consistent, deliberate action, is the bridge that carries you from dreaming to achieving. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress toward the life you deserve. Bringing it all together, think about this. Everything we discussed is connected. Your awareness informs your mindset. Your mindset shapes your goals. Your resilience fuels your actions. And your actions, repeated daily, compound into the extraordinary life you've been imagining. Imagine the power of combining clarity with courage, focus with determination, and thought with deliberate action. That is the formula for transformation. You've learned how to observe your thoughts, challenge limiting beliefs, and replace them with empowering convictions. You've explored practical exercises to strengthen your awareness and mindset. You've discovered strategies for setting goals that align with your deepest values and aspirations. You've seen examples of resilience that turn obstacles into opportunities. And you've understood that taking consistent action, no matter how small, is what separates dreams from reality. Turning inspiration into immediate action, now it's time to act. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Ask yourself, what one action can I take today that my future self will thank me for? It might be as simple as writing down a goal, sending an important email, starting a journal, or practicing a daily affirmation. The key is to move. To prove to yourself that your thoughts are not just ideas. They are intentions ready to manifest into results. You cannot control everything, but you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your commitment. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The courage to begin again and again. Life is not a straight path. It will challenge you, test your patience, and sometimes knock you down. But remember, resilience is not about avoiding failure. It is about bouncing back stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Every time you choose to rise after a setback, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that your dreams are valid. Every thought you choose to control, every action you take consistently, and every challenge you face courageously builds the architecture of your future. Creating a life of intentional power. Your life is a reflection of the beliefs you hold, the thoughts you nurture, and the actions you take. When you master your beliefs, control your thoughts, and align your actions with your values, you step into a life of intentional power. You no longer drift in uncertainty or hesitation. You move with purpose, confidence, and clarity. And the beautiful truth is that every person, regardless of past mistakes or current circumstances, has access to this power. It is within you. It has always been within you. All that is required is recognition, courage, and deliberate effort. A call to your future self. So, today, I challenge you to take one decisive step toward your transformation. Write it down, say it aloud, commit to it with all your heart. Make the choice to be aware of your thoughts, to cultivate your mindset, to define your goals, to embrace resilience, and to act consistently. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. Every thought you control is a seed for the life you desire. Every time you rise after a fall, you reaffirm your strength and purpose. Believe in your infinite potential. Your only limitations are those you set upon yourself. You are the author of your story. Today is the perfect day to start a new chapter. Parting inspiration and encouragement. Remember, transformation is not an event. It is a process. It is the small, consistent choices made every day, the thoughts you master, the actions you commit to, and the resilience you cultivate that shape the life you truly deserve. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need perfection to progress. You simply need courage. The courage to take the first step, and then the next, and then the one after that. As you move forward from this moment, carry this truth with you. You have the power to control your thoughts, master your beliefs, and create the life you've always imagined. You have the strength to rise after every setback, the clarity to set purposeful goals, and the discipline to act consistently toward your dreams. Your future is waiting, not for luck, not for permission, but for the bravery of your actions today. So start now. Master your thoughts, change your life, and step boldly into the version of yourself that you are capable of becoming. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. Your life, your beliefs, your transformation begin today.